Everybody, just knew I was this New York chip on my shoulder punk. Everywhere I went was a fight. Started carrying guns. I grew up in a big family, right there in Queens, a place called South Ozone Park. My dad and my mom divorced when I was 6 years old. That's when things kind of got a little bit rough. My mom met a guy named Tony. He was into heroin, had a lot of addictions with drugs, and a lot of connections with the streets of Brooklyn. Had a lot of people that didn't really like him or appreciate some of the stuff he had done. So when he came along, came a lot of trouble with him. As we got older and older, we just around the drugs and around the whole hustling and just getting by, we just learned how to do it. We picked it up. I learned how to buy drugs cheap and sell them real expensive. I was on the run from the law, and I went to Orlando. 15 years old, I was getting into the clubs, fake IDs, and I started getting into messing with turntables and making beats, and just wound up getting in with the crowd. Everybody knew me. I was young, but everybody knew, what I was about. So they let me hang out, and they would let me chill. And 15 years old, and you're in a club with 21-year-olds and 25-year-olds, and they're partying, and you're coming to their after parties, and half the time you're the one that they're getting their drugs from. 15 years old, you got life. You got it made right there, as far as the streets go. I started getting into ecstasy real bad and crystal meth, and my mom came up there to see me one time, and when she seen me, all she did was she just started crying, and I thought I was doing pretty good for myself. I had money, I had my own little place, 17 years old, had my own place, had money, and had a car, and had me a little girlfriend, and I thought I was doing real good. And when she seen me, all she did was cry, and I said, well, why are you crying? I'm doing good. The reason she was crying was I had went from about 185 pounds down to about 125 pounds within a few months. Didn't have time to eat, didn't have time to do nothing. I just had time to snort coke, eat pills, drink, party, hustle. That's all I was about. I'd found out at the time that my girlfriend at the time was pregnant, so I figured my mom's tripping on me. She wants me to straighten up. I got a kid coming. I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn myself in. Let's just get it over with, see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? I've already been in jail. And so I did. I turned myself in, went in and went to Ocala Detention Center. It was an ongoing case, so I had already went to my arraignment and then ran from there. And so I was able to get it done pretty fast in about a month and a half. They said I was going to be going to a level 10 place called Cypress Creek there in Lecanto. That's 18 months to 36 months. They seen that I was having a child born. They see my mom come up there, and I guess you say by the grace of God now. Now I know it's by the grace of God. I didn't get a level 10. I actually got what was a level 6 at the time. A place called Withlacoochee Stop Camp. It was more of like a work camp instead of a lockdown facility. All these people were telling me about this Jesus, and maybe it is him that put me here. I've got hooked up with Breakaway, and they've helped me a lot. I got established in a church, and and now, 5 years later, I'm a youth pastor, and my youth group's growing. Being able to point kids to Jesus, being able to point kids and showing them the way to get their name written in heaven. I want to be able to say that, when I'm gone and when my ministry is passed, and when I pass it on to hopefully my son or the next generation of youth in my church, or the next generation of Breakaway, I want to be able to say that I taught them the right way. I want them to remember me and say that he was a man of God. He preached the gospel, never bent on it. He never compromised. He left a legacy behind. He left a testimony that pleased God.